Ben.
It was Christmas Eve. Snow pressed against the windows, soft carols hummed from a neighbor's house, and the smell of cinnamon candles filled my living room. Then my phone buzzed. The screen lit up with a name I hadn't seen in years. Ben, my brother. But Ben's been dead for 3 Christmases. I just stayed, my chest tightening. My first thought was spoof number, scammer, some sick prank. But the ringtone didn't sound normal. It dragged, glitching. Each note stretched like it was warping through water. I picked it up. My hand shook so badly I nearly dropped it. Hello. Nothing. No words. Just faint breathing. Slow. Uneven. Like someone struggling to stay alive. Who is this? A crackle of static bled into my ear. Then something else, like a whisper pressed between the noise. One word, maybe two. Too broken to understand. Ben? The line cut. I sat frozen. Phone pressed to my ear long after the call ended. My reflection in the black screen looked pale, hollow-eyed, like I'd already seen a ghost. I told myself it had to be a glitch. Some database error. Numbers recycled. Technology hiccups. But I knew better. Because the last time Ben called me, on the night of the accident, I didn't answer. And deep down, I knew this wasn't the last call. Ben loved Christmas more than anyone I've ever known. He'd string lights in September, blast carols in October, and argue with me about which movie counted as a real Christmas classic. Every year, he'd call me at midnight on Christmas Eve. Didn't matter if I was across town or across the country. Ben made sure I answered. Except the last year. That night, I let it ring. I was busy, distracted, and when I finally checked my phone, it was too late. His name sat there in my missed calls list, glowing like a warning I ignored. Hours later, I got another call. Not from him. From a hospital. Ben was gone. A car accident on a frozen back road. They told me he was likely reaching for his phone when it happened. Reaching for me. I never deleted that last voicemail. But I never listened to it either. Just seeing the notification felt like punishment enough. Christmas hasn't been Christmas since. The lights feel colder. The music, thinner. My parents avoid talking about him. I avoid talking about him. But the silence never goes away. It follows us into every holiday. And when my phone lit up with his name again this year, I felt the guilt I've carried harden into something else. Fear. Because I knew the truth. Ghosts don't call. Dead numbers don't connect. And yet his name was on my screen, as clear as the last night he was alive. So when it rang again, I knew I couldn't ignore it this time. Christmas night. The tree glowed in the corner, presents stacked beneath it, but I couldn't enjoy any of it. Every creak of the house made me jump. Every shadow felt like it was leaning closer. When the phone rang again, I nearly dropped the glass in my hand. Same caller ID. Ben. This time, I answered on the first buzz. Hello. Static rushed in, sharp and icy. It wasn't empty like before. There was movement behind it. Shuffling. A scrape, like a chair being dragged across a floor. Then a voice. Faint. Cracked. But familiar. Let me in. My throat closed. I whispered his name. Ben. I tried to call back, fingers trembling so hard I almost hit the wrong button. The call failed instantly. Number disconnected. I called again. Same result. Like the number didn't exist. When I told my parents, they traded worried looks. My mom reached for my hand. It's grief, she said softly. Your mind's playing tricks. My friend Mark was harsher. Phones get spoofed all the time. It's a scam. Don't feed into it. I wanted to believe them. I wanted to laugh it off. But none of them heard the last thing. The voice hadn't just said, let me in. Before the line went dead, it said my name. Not just my name, my nickname. The one only Ben ever used when we were kids. A name I hadn't heard spoken out loud in years. And no one else knew it. After that second call, the house didn't feel like home anymore. It felt occupied. The first sign came the next morning. My phone buzzed with a new voicemail notification. But the timestamp wasn't new. It was 3 years old. Dated the night Ben died. The message was blank when I played it. Just static. But buried deep in the noise was a faint whisper. You left me. I told myself it was a glitch, some corrupted file resurfacing. But then I noticed something worse. Under the tree, among the neatly wrapped gifts, sat a small red box. No one in my family had put it there. I opened it with numb fingers. Inside was a toy car, faded blue paint, one wheel missing. Ben's toy, the one he used to race across the kitchen floor every Christmas morning. I hadn't seen it since we packed his things away. That night, the Christmas lights started acting strange. At first they flickered, like old wiring, but then the blinking turned rhythmic. 3 short flashes, 3 long, 3 short again. Morse code. I looked it up. It spelled one word, code. By then I was desperate for proof I wasn't losing my mind. So I recorded the next call. I held the phone to a second device, heart racing as the static pawed through. When I played it back, my stomach dropped. The voice was there, faint, broken, but undeniable. Over and over, it whispered, cold, cold, cold. I deleted the file. I don't know why. Maybe I was scared to have evidence. Maybe I was more scared of what I'd do with it. But I couldn't ignore what happened next. I was sitting on the couch, staring at the darkened TV screen, when my reflection blinked. I hadn't blinked. My phone buzzed instantly. I answered without thinking. This time the voice was clearer, sharper, as though it had crawled closer through the static. I'm outside. Midnight. The tree lights had gone dark, the house silent except for the slow tick of the hallway clock. I sat clutching my phone, waiting, because I knew it was coming. When the ringtone finally cut through the stillness, I almost felt relief. At least the waiting was over. The screen lit up. Ben. I answered. Why didn't you pick up? The voice was sharper this time, warped but unmistakable. Ben's, and yet not Ben's. Every syllable was soaked with anger. I'm sorry, I whispered, my throat raw. I should have answered. I should have. You promised. The distortion crackled, layered like more than one voice speaking. You promised you'd never leave me alone on Christmas. My chest tightened. The last year he was alive, I had told him exactly that. A stupid reassurance. A casual line. But he remembered. Knock. The sound echoed from the front door, perfectly timed with a voice on the phone. Knock. Knock. I stumbled back, clutching the phone so hard my knuckles burned. You're not him, I said. You can't be him. The static roared, a chorus of laughter threaded with sobs. Open the door. Let me in. I'm freezing out here. The Christmas light sputtered, then died, leaving the house in suffocating black. My phone vibrated violently in my hand, screen glitching, shaking like it might crack apart. Scratches scraped against the window glass. Long, deliberate strokes, like nails dragging from one end to the other. I backed into the corner of the living room, too afraid to look, too afraid not to. Please. The voice begged now, softer, closer, like it was right behind the glass. Don't leave me outside again. Don't do it twice. I squeezed my eyes shut, tears burning. You're not my brother. The knocking stopped. The line went dead. I opened my eyes, slowly. The phone screen had gone black, reflecting only my face in the dark. Except it wasn't just my face. The reflection smiled, and I wasn't smiling. Left that house and didn't look back. So listen carefully. If your phone rings this Christmas, and the number looks familiar, don't answer. Because once you do, he's not just my brother anymore. He's yours.